Thanks for looking in. No, I'm not Mickey Mouse. I'm Sporty King. And I'll be chairing our 2017 AATH, Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor Conference, April 27th through 30th in Orlando, Florida. We'll be talking and learning about the power and purpose of play. Now, when I pucker my lips to say that, it's easy to smile and think of Steve Wilson, who I had the pleasure of meeting in 1994, and continue to follow and appreciate his spirit of intertwining substance and humor in ways you'd never imagine. He's president of the World Laughter Tour and innovator of the popular program, How to Create Therapeutic Laughter. And I could go on and on with my love of words. But let me stop here and appreciate, as the chair of the conference, the chairman, CHEERMAN, of the board, BORED, Steve Wilson. Hey, Steve. Oh, God, wait, isn't that the ending? That's the Carol Burnett ending, isn't it?
No, I want Scotty, Sporty. What are you, Sporty or Scotty?
Beam me down and we'll figure it out, right?
Beam me down, Sporty. That was the nicest introduction I've ever written. Thank you.
You know what? It was tough for me to read it because you had it in cursive. You know, a friend of mine just told me that the millennials. She had an intern as a millennial, and she had given him something to translate. I guess he was going to data input, but it was in cursive. So when she gave it to him, he looked and he's like, "We're going to have a little challenge with this." He said, "I could probably get most of it." But, you know,
yeah,
they're not teaching cursive anymore in school.
I know. It's a strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll become the secret language of the older generation.
That's right. And you and I know it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's go right into knowing it, because believe it or not, Steve, there are people that may not know you.
Sure.
Yeah, grasp. Tell us a little bit more about yourself before we get into our great conversation about the conference.
Okay. I was born at a very early age of mixed parents, one male and one female. I was born in a hospital because I wanted to be close to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all the shtick that we have about that. These days, I begin speaking about myself by saying I'm 75 years old. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm amazed myself to have reached this point. And I believe I'm still alive and kicking because I'm not done. Mm-hmm. I've got more to do, and it energizes me. And I am happy to share it with other people. We'll talk about the secrets of how to stay energized, at least how I do it. Mm-hmm. I was born in Philadelphia, stayed there till I finished graduate school at Temple University, and then moved to Ohio to go to Ohio State University, and then traveled the country and the world eventually. I'm married to Pam, who is everything to me, just amazing. We have a blended family with 5 of the most beautiful, intelligent children, creative, just remarkable. Mm-hmm. And we have 10 grandchildren. Mm-hmm. They're all boys, except for 6.
I got it.
I can wait for the laugh. That's I've learned that sometimes you got to wait. I've had a very interesting life. I think I'm a good example of how things that you do at one time are actually preparation for something you're going to do later on. I had my first public performance as a tap dancer at the age of 4. in Philadelphia. And through my life, I've been an amateur magician, a folk singer. I was professionally trained as a psychologist and had a private practice in psychotherapy. But I took acting lessons, and I've appeared in a number of different shows in community theater. I learned acting. When it came to relationships, intimate relationships, marriage, I realized at one point that I'm on the practice makes perfect program.
Okay.
I've had probably more than the average number of marriages. And so in one sense, I learned the hard way, but I think I figured it out. And Pam and I now will be celebrating an anniversary soon. And it is 12,124 days.
All right.
We count the days because it's part of a philosophy of life that says, don't postpone joy. And Mark Twain said, life is uncertain, so eat your dessert first. And the ancient Greeks said, carpe the heck out of this diem. We don't know how many years we're going to have, but Pam and I have lost people that we loved, significant losses, suddenly and unexpected, and we try to figure out what is the lesson, because we believe that whatever happens to you in life, no matter how difficult or unpleasant it is, if you could finally get to look all around it, and look at all sides of it, you'll find a side that has important lessons to your advantage.
And you know, it's interesting because I one of my favorite mantras is that I don't use a man-made calendar to find reasons to celebrate. And so, you know, I may wish somebody a happy Mother's Day in September, and, you know, happy Valentine. In fact, I did wish everybody happy Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago. And I said, unless you've got another good reason to not celebrate love on a daily basis. So, and I haven't done it in a while, but I love that concept of going in and doing the math and figure out how many days I've been celebrating something. And so I'm glad to hear that you're continuing to do that.
Well, you know, we said that we count the days because we don't know how many years we're going to have, but we're sure about today. And it's a reminder that you got to make every day count.
Sure. You introduced me to a great term years ago. And I don't use it on, I swear to God, I actually don't use it on anybody else, but I just love using it when I'm talking to you. And Pam, how did you introduce Pam? Do you remember that? What do you call her?
You got me.
Time's up. But wait a minute. You know what?
Can I phone a friend?
But I remember you telling me that this is my spousal unit.
Oh. Okay, it's one of her titles. You know, Pam's official title, because she's not only my life partner, she's my business partner. And so we run the World Laughter Tour as a business together. And our charity, the Laughter Arts and Sciences Foundation. And, you know, I became the director of National Humor Month, which is April. Took it over from Larry Wild, our friend Larry Wild. Pam's official title on her business card is Empress of Everything. So that fits.
Oh, God, so she's EOE already, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Good. And you know, tell us a little bit more about the laughter tour, because you know, I know that's, you know, in everything you do, and I believe that as speakers, one of the things that I've learned to do is kind of say to people, you know, one of the reasons to hire me to speak is because of the causes that I support. You know, so I'm not speaking to earn money from me more per se. I'm speaking because I believe in such and such, and that's what's going to come across on the stage. And I think we get the same out of you. So,
I didn't know that it was a fairly rare talent, but I can hear a joke one time and I can repeat it and I can tell it pretty well. And I have found out since that only 2 to 5% of people can do that. Mm-hmm. And I got sent home from school, by the way, in the first grade because I told a joke that I heard my father tell to his card playing buddies. And I thought, oh, that's funny, about a talking parrot. I won't tell it now, but I told it in school, and I got sent home with a note that Stevie should not be telling these kinds of stories in school. So I thought I had this knack for entertaining people, at least with jokes. Mm-hmm. And then when I did magic and was a folk singer during the folk song revival, hootenannies and that kind of thing, and I really so I enjoy entertaining. I like to see people having a good time. And laughing. And it was in 1984 that I attended a workshop that was for people in the helping professions, nurses, counselors, psychologists, teachers, chaplains, and it was how to use humor in your work. And I thought, well, it sounds like better than going to one of my other classes that they wanted me to take on suicide or emotional breakdown, stuff like that. The humor, that sounded good. And that was where I had my calling. That was where that awakening happened. In the midst of that weekend workshop in Chicago with Joel Goodman, the founder of the Humor Project. Mm-hmm. And I heard a voice say, Steve, it was almost like that. Steve, you should do this. This is your thing. And I thought, and I can do it better than him. Well, we all did go through that sometime. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I immersed myself in what little bit of information was available in those days about humor, and that it could have some healing properties, or it was good for human beings. We live in a society that says, what's so funny? What are you laughing at? Wipe that smile off your face. Get back to work. We're not here to have fun. And I found out that all those are wrong. All those are upside down thinking. We are here to have fun. We do need to keep the smile on our face. And we do need to find things that amuse us. And since then, the research has been coming in. When I got started in this, there were maybe 2 or 3 research reports a year about laughter or humor. And now there are 2 or 3 a month. So it's become a very respectable topic of study. And I immersed myself in it. I loved it. And I started my first invitation to speak on the topic of the healing power of humor was at a cancer support community here in Columbus, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And the reaction of the audience confirmed for me that I was doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. This is where I needed to be. I wasn't sure. I was feeling a little overwhelmed. My mother died of ovarian cancer when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was a whispered kind of a thing. There was a time when you never said, it was like a superstition. You didn't say an illness or something out loud. The neighbor up the street had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. That woman has cancer.
Yeah.
It's like if you say the word too loud, maybe you'll make it happen. We just didn't know. Yeah. But I went to speak to cancer patients, and they were going around the room introducing themselves. And I saw that they were, one had a brain tumor, had surgery. One was getting chemotherapy for lymphoma, and their families were there. And then this guy in his mid-50s gets to him, and he says, my name is Lester, and I have cancer of the liver. And my doctor told me that I had 6 months to live. And that was a year ago. And I gave away my winter coat. And the place broke up. And I knew if Lester could make a joke, that it's going to be all right. I'm on the right topic.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that's what I've done since then. And I've been so fortunate to meet people who I admire and respect and I look up to as the pioneers in the fields of therapeutic humor and laughter. Lee Burke called me one day and he said, "My name is Lee Burke. Do you happen to know who I am?" And I said, "Yeah, I know who you are. I read your studies and I talk about them." He said, "I've been following the World Laughter Tour for a couple of years and I just called to tell you, don't ever get discouraged. You're doing the right thing."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm the theory, you're the practice. How can I help you?"
Right.
And I said, "I'm putting together a professional advisory committee. I don't know enough. I don't know everything. I need help to put a curriculum together. How do you train people? I've trained mental health counselors and workers, but how do we train people to deliver therapeutic humor and therapeutic laughter programs?" They said, "Put me on that committee." And he's been with me for 14 years. And the next person, I went to an AATH conference and I met Bill Fry, Dr. William Fry Jr., a critically important pioneer in the field of the benefits of humor and laughter. And he did the cardiovascular experiments in the early days. And he said, "Put me on the committee." And I met Patty Wooten, and she said, "Put me on the committee." And I met Cliff Kuhn, and he said, "Put me on the committee." And now there are about 15 people. The most recent, I'm so fortunate. This is a blessing in my life. These people have kept me on track. They've guided me. They've been a support for me. And many of them I met by going to conferences at AATH. And they were there, and you could touch them, and you could talk to them, and you could interact with them. And I thought, it's so personal, so friendly. Where would I ever get that opportunity? And they became colleagues and friends. And this year we added a member of the Professional Advisory Committee. His name is a physician, Rajiv Samant, who lives in Ottawa, and he's a radiation oncologist. And he just brought out a book called Smiles from the Clinic. He collects funny stories from his cancer patients because he feels that it would be good for them to read about the lighter side of what other patients are going through. He gets it. And he said, "Put me on a committee. I want to help." So, great debt of gratitude to AATH and all the people that have certainly helped me. I mean, you succeed, as you know. You succeed in anything in life because you're standing on the shoulders of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Who beat the path and went before. So that's what I have been doing. That's, I've got 7,000 people have created the course. Karen Buxman helped me get the World Laughter Tour started. Jackie Kwan. 3 of us were at an AATH meeting, and on lunch breaks we're driving around in the car. What do we call this thing? Let's do something. We need to do. And the World Laughter Tour idea came out of that. And then these folks helped me put together the curriculum. A very highly respected credential now, a certified laughter leader. And we have a curriculum. It's the only course of its kind that's been approved for continuing education in various professions like social workers. The National Association of Social Work has approved my curriculum. The American Holistic Nurses Association has approved the curriculum. The National Council for Certification of Activity Professionals has approved the curriculum. And I'm blown away. Our 2-day course has been incorporated into a 30-hour college credit course here in Columbus, Ohio. It's been going for 6 years, the most popular elective that the college offers. And now 2 other colleges are across the country. One's in Arizona, and they want to say, let's get this program going at the college level. So we've taken therapeutic humor and laughter from the point where people were saying, "All right, you got to be kidding, that can't be, and where's the data and all that," and now they're saying, "Pretty good stuff. This is amazing." We have new technologies. We got the fMRI, this imaging that shows us what's happening in the brain when we laugh, when we were amused. Just so fascinating. And one of the facts that I like to start out with is certainly say to people, laughter is the best medicine. Now, we've all heard that.
Right.
That did you know that is an adaptation of a line from the book of Proverbs? A merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Okay.
Proverbs 17:22. And what that says is that 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, people knew that your heart, your amusement, being joyful, being optimistic is going to be healthy, is good for you. So I like to get that across. And then, did you know that people who are born blind and deaf laugh? What?
Really?
You don't learn how to do it by watching other people.
Right.
You get it from the inside out. Now we know about neurotransmitters and stuff that go on in the brain when the conditions are right, and the baby's laying in the crib and giggling, and we're not running over and saying, gee, she's got a great sense of humor. Something else is going on.
Yeah.
And so the data is in about what some people knew anyway.
Yeah.
There's a word prescient, pre-science, before science. They knew. Lee Burke, Patty Wooten, Bill Fry, Cliff Kuhn, these people, Norman Cousins, even without the data, they knew. And now the data is coming in.
Well, you know what? It's interesting if I could just grab a bunch of those things that you just did. Number one, totally agree with you, and glad to hear how you appreciate how AATH is such a collaborative and supportive organization. And then you sound like the organization historian, using all of those names that I think people have become familiar with over the years, and we certainly want them to become more familiar with them as they get more associated with AATH. But so putting all of those together, and even thinking about what you said about how you decided not to go take the suicide class and depression, and then all the types of people, you actually named all the types of people that will be coming to our conference, because all of these things are useful to people in clinical health care and the nursing professions and cancer care and home care. What will these people be able to get out of your session? Your session is going to be called the Uh-Oh Squad. Okay, so what can these types of people expect to get from the Uh-Oh Squad?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say that I think that anybody who uses what are called behavioral principles and relies on scientific evidence in helping other people from any perspective is going to get new tools for their toolkit by affiliating with AATH, by coming to the conference. One of the things that got me started on a career, I had to close my practice. I had a very successful practice of psychotherapy. And eventually I had to close it because the demand for my talks and seminars overwhelmed the private practice. And I thought, well, that's better, because private practice, I can help one or two people at a time, or maybe a little group of 8 or 10. But if I go out and speak, I can have 500 people in the audience. I can have 1,000 people in an audience, and so I can extend my reach. But I really got started because in the United States, I don't know about the rest of the world, but there's a phenomena at work. It's called the Mental Health Day.
Yes.
And everybody knows what a mental health day is. It's the day when you don't go to work.
Right.
Because it's better for your mental health not to be there. So I'm treating people for work-related stress disorders and all kinds of issues, workplace issues. And I'm thinking, what if there were some things that we could do? Maybe there's something in this humor and laughter, and we could apply it in some ways that would make it good for your mental health to go to work. Wouldn't your family appreciate that? You don't have to come home at the end of the day and kick the cat and yell at the kids. And so that's, I put that together with what I was learning about humor and laughter. And I came up with talks and books and seminars. And so one of the things that I created is something called the Uh-Oh Squad. And the Uh-Oh Squad is a way that I have of teaching people how to create a stress-resistant personality.
Okay.
I was teaching stress management courses, and everybody else was teaching stress management courses. I found that when a time came when I would go in and they hired me to teach stress management to a department at work or a group of teachers or whatever. And it was like they were saying, you know, we had that. We had somebody here last year. And you know what? It doesn't work. So stress management, they weren't interested. But I said, how about stress resistance? How about if I could show you some ways? I can't get all the stress out of your life. But how about if I could show you some ways that when there is stress, you won't succumb. You won't be dragged down or vulnerable to the very negative effects of stress and burnout. Would you be interested in that? And especially if it was very low cost, doesn't cost a lot of money, doesn't take a lot of time. And people were saying, yeah, what is that? Well, one of the things I came up with is called the Uh-Oh Squad. And I teach it to workplaces based on what's called the appraisal theory of stress. I'm going to go into this at the conference, and I will teach everyone what the Uh-Oh Squad is. I'm not going to say much more about it now, but it is something that departments in any place where you're working, the family at home, business, healthcare, education, you can form Uh-Oh Squads, and instead of falling apart under stress, you pull together, you stay together, you solve the problem, you stay productive, you stay healthy. So that's, I wanted to show that because I hope it will be inspirational. That the folks who come to the conference will say, well, you know, if Wilson could invent something like that, maybe I could come up with something. And be creative. Maybe I could teach something in a fun way that's really very important for people. And so I'm going to demonstrate how I did that with stress resistance and stress management. And I've got a couple of other things that have been so powerful, so wonderful to do with audiences. I love audience involvement, audience participation. Now, if you come to one of my talks, one of my programs, you are not going to sit on your hands. You're going to stand up. You're going to be invited to stand up. We don't make anybody do anything. We make it so attractive. The invitation goes out. So try this, do this, try that. And we may do a couple laughter exercises, but I'm going to show a way that in 20 seconds, everybody in the audience, no matter how large the audience is, can locate and practice and retain their best smile. And it's very quick, and it's so much fun. I learned this from another professional speaker named Art Gleiner, and I want to share that. This stuff, this is tried and proven. You know, and I'm putting together the program for my part of the conference, and I will share as many as we can fit in the time of these very active audience participation ideas. And maybe people will steal them from me. I don't worry about that, because when you're creative, you know, you're always coming up with something new anyway. But I want to say we can all be creative. We can all come up with an idea, and it's so much fun. And here's a few that work. We know they work. At this stage of the game, at this stage of my life, I'm trying to open my files and send out and share as much material as I can. I tell you what, Sporty, I don't want to die Have you guys come around to my office and go through my files and say, man, he had some good stuff here. What was he keeping it for?
There you go.
Because I'm not keeping it. I want to share it. That's what I'm going to do.
Great. Well, I tell you, you always make me get creative, and you know me, I'm an acronym addict, so I've taken already, even without.
Oh, good. I love that. That's an honor for me. Anybody that gets acronymed by Sporty,
So you ready? You ready?
Yeah. Lay it on me.
Okay. UHOH, right?
Yes.
Unbridled humor, ongoing humor.
Thank you. Thank you. Unbridled humor, ongoing humor.
Because that is certainly what you represent to me, Steve. I mean, you have just always been a reservoir and a resource of humor and good spirit, and it makes a difference in my life. So I'm really,
that's nice. Well, we that's been mutual. That difference, that important, positive difference in our lives with each other. Yeah. I'll give you one of my acronyms.
Okay.
When I was 14 years old, I became a yo-yo champion in Philadelphia. I did the yo-yo tricks, and I still do them. In fact, I did some when I got my Lifetime Achievement Award. But
and you were great. I was back there cracking up. Yeah.
The thing about a yo-yo is, I think yo-yo stands for you're on your own.
You're on your own.
Because you don't need a partner. You don't need a team.
Yeah.
You carry it in your pocket, and whenever you want to play or have some fun or practice, there you go. You're on your own.
You're on your own. Which is, by the way, one of my favorite lines from, I hope most people have seen the March of the Wooden Soldiers. Remember when the guy, they're over there on the island, they're looking for Silas Barnaby or whatever his guy, and the guy, he says, you're on your own, because there's nothing he can do to save them from the boogeyman.
That's the message of the yo-yo.
Yeah. Well, look, Steve, you're on your own. We're on our own, and I know we're going to get ready to run out of time on our little talk here. But how can people get in touch with you? Your information, get your website and everything.
All right. We've created very recently, completely reworked our website, very modern, and the address is worldlaughtertour.com. Okay. And a lot of information there, a lot of good free things, a lot of audio and video. Just so that's one way, and of course you can contact me right from the website. And send me an email. I want to encourage everyone to go to the laughterfoundation.org. Okay. That's a 501c3. It's a nonprofit charity that we created 13 years ago. We have scholarships. If people want to go to AATH or they want to take a course somewhere, they can apply for scholarship, financial assistance there. And we're now endorsing small, wonderful projects that have passionate, visionary leaders, and we want to put a spotlight on. So many people are really joining us. I mean, all of us are joining us to promote humor and laughter in so many unique ways. So the foundation helps with that, and then humormonth.com. Okay. For National Humor Month. Beginning with April Fool's Day. There's some wonderful programs. One that we have there, and all the materials are free. Okay. If you want to help kids love to read by using humor, go to humormonth.com and look for funny literacy. And all of those are ways to reach me.
And we'll make sure that when we put this interview together, we'll have those sites listed. Yeah. So, but I think it's a great closing point there that you talk about helping kids, because as our conference in National Humor Month, April, we'll be at the end of April, 27th through 30th, but it's talking about play, and we've got to just continue to be big kids at heart, and because kids are so much more resilient than we want to admit that we are as adults, because we are, but we just don't admit it sometimes.
And we can talk more about it, but I make a distinction between playing and being playful.
Thank you. Great.
We use the word play to talk about activities that are dangerous, difficult. We play football. I played golf and I almost had a heart attack. I had the worst game I ever had because you weren't being playful. And the secret of being playful, don't keep score. And so it's a distinction. I'm looking forward to, that'll all, I'm sure, be part of the conference. I'll show you the button I'm wearing these days. Well, two things I can show you. We'll see what you want to do with it. This is our campaign from now on. Can you see this?
Yes. Every laugh matters.
Every laugh matters. Your laugh is important. To tell people your laugh is unique and distinct and precious. It's a part of your personality. Let it out. It's very important to the world that the world hears your laugh. And then, of course, this one, which I think applies to me pretty well.
You're only young once, but you can be immature forever.
That's it. And I hope I am. Hello? I'm not taking calls right now. Oh, my gosh.
Look at that timing. I mean, that's priceless. Look at that timing, okay? Look, Steve, thanks a lot.
Oh, sport, it's for you.
Wait, I hope it's not my friend, who's my great friend, unrecognized, when you get the calls from the 800 number, unknown. Yeah, my good friend.
My friend unknown.
Oh, God. Steve, thanks again for your time and energy. We'll look forward to hearing from you in April, but we'll look forward to hearing from you nonstop along the way.
Okay, Sporty, you know where to reach me. If you need anything else, you let me know.
Yes, sir. Thanks again.
Love you a lot.
Thank you. Love you too. Hi to the spousal unit and all the EOE.
Empress of everything. Yep.
All right. Take care, Steve.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.